an Oscar-nominated actor who co-starred and wrote one of my favorite movies of all time, A Bronx Tale. And soon you'll be able to see it as a musical right here in Chicago. Please welcome Chazz Palminteri.
Pretty good.
See ya. Sit with Sonny himself.
Yes, that's me.
How are you, Chazz?
Good, really good.
I know I got to be on your best behavior because in a lot of films you play a very intimidating character. People tell me how nice you are.
Yeah, I do.
and you're a boxer in real life.
Well, I boxed when I was young. Yes, I still box. I still train, but I don't spar like I used to spar. I spar only, not many rounds a week now.
Yeah, you box, and that actually helped supplement your income when you were up and coming?
Yeah, well, I was boxing and I was bouncing. I was bouncing in nightclubs. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, so,
So you had to stay tough.
As an actor, you have to do other things to make a living, and that's what I did, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I want to go there because you have a fascinating story with just how Bronx Tale, the movie, got made.
Right.
Getting ready for this interview, I didn't realize it was a one-man show first.
Yes, yeah. I did the one-man show, and what happened was I was working as a bouncer in this nightclub, a very fancy place in Beverly Hills. And finally, one day, there was a big swanky party, and this one guy came in. He was really rushing. He goes, "Let me in." And I said, "Well, wait a minute. What is your name? Is it on the list?" And he said, "Don't you know who I am?" I said, "Yeah, you're the guy who's not getting in tonight." Because he was really nasty to me, So finally, I said, "What's your name?" He goes, "Listen to me. If you don't let me in, you're going to be fired in 15 minutes." So I said, "Forget it." So I ignored him. And what happened was, it was Swifty Lazar. Now, Swifty Lazar was the biggest agent in the world at the time, and I just told him he couldn't come into his own party. So 15 minutes later, I got fired, just like he said. And I drove back home in my 1972 Honda Civic, and I went to my beat-up apartment, and I sat on the edge of my bed, and I said, what am I going to do with my life? And this is 30 years ago. And I was a young actor, and finally I looked at the thing my father wrote, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to waste my talent. If they won't give me a great part, I'll write one myself. So I started writing about this killing that I saw when I was a little boy. I was 5 feet away from the guy, and he killed him. And then my father dragged me upstairs, and then the cops came, and I didn't rat on him. And that was really the start of how A Bronx Tale happened. And I wrote for 10 months. Until I had a one-man show. I played all the characters, everybody.
Yeah, like 18 parts?
18 parts, and then I performed it, and as soon as I performed it, my career just busted wide open. And they offered me $250,000, I had $200 in the bank, and I said no, because they wouldn't take me.
Right, that's the fascinating part. $200 to your name.
To my name.
They wanted to give you $250,000, but you said, I got to play Sonny.
I said, okay, but I play Sonny, and I write it. They said no. I said, well, then forget it. And they said, well, then forget it. Nobody will ever do this. But meanwhile, more stars kept coming, more studio heads, and finally, they went up to $500, $1 million, because everybody wanted to play Sonny. Pacino, Nicholson, they all wanted to play Sonny, and all the big directors. And I said, no, I'm playing Sonny. Then finally, after I turned down the $1 million, 2 weeks later, I was doing it in the theater, and somebody walked over to me and said, Robert De Niro, he saw the show. He's in your dressing room waiting for you. I said, he just saw the show? He said, yeah. I went into the dressing room. There was Bob De Niro. And he looked at me. He said, that was the best one-man show I ever saw. He goes, you did a movie. I said, yeah. He goes, here's what we're going to do, Chazz. I'll tell you how I feel. You should play Sonny. You'll be great. And you should write it because it's your life. I'll play your father. I'll direct it. We'll go partners. And if you shake my hand, that's the way it'll be. I shook his hand, and that's the way it was.
Unbelievable. There had to be times, though, Chazz, when you had the $200 and you needed to, go grocery shopping, and you're thinking, I could have $1 million right now. Everybody must have thought you were nuts.
Yes, yes. Everybody in Hollywood thought, I think he's mentally sick. They thought that, but I didn't care. It was just too good. It was too good, and I won all the awards in the one-man show. But I said, sooner or later, somebody's got to give me a chance. And I just held out, and. Bob came in and, you know, did the right thing.
Yeah, I have to say, I saw this movie when it came out. I've always remembered that quote, and that was a real quote from your father.
That was my father. He used to say that all the time. Yeah.
Saddest thing in life is wasted talent.
Yes.
That, and I learned what the door test was.
The door test, yeah. If she doesn't open up the door, forget it.
I had a 62 Cadillac, my first car, and my girlfriend in high school and I would joke, and what I would do is you open the door for her, and then she gets in, then she's got to lean over, and that was before power door locks.
Yeah.
She had to reach over and open it, and I would try to run around as fast as I can and get in before she could open it, just to be funny.
Yeah. Remember when Prince Harry got married, his future wife, she leaned over and she opened up the door. It was a big thing. They said the door test, Bronx Tale. It was a big thing about that.
Did you learn that from your father?
No, I just learned. It was kind of a folklore that we all talked about when we were kids. I didn't come up with that, to be honest with you. We used to say, yeah, if she doesn't open the door. I was just the first one to put it in a movie, and it just exploded, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Tell us about the musical. Now, is the musical going to be virtually identical to the movie?
Well, the one-man show, then I was able to elaborate more on the screenplay. Now I even was able to elaborate more on the musical. Look, Alan Menken, 8-time Academy Awards, wrote the music. Glenn Slater, 3-time Tony nominee, wrote the lyrics. Sergio Trullo, 3-time Tony nominee, did the choreography. Robert De Niro, who directed the movie, co-directed it with Jerry Sachs, 4-time Tony winner, who directed the one-man show on Broadway. So, Tommy Mottola. So it's, and you know what? I guarantee everyone here today, if you see the musical, you will absolutely cry at the end. And you'll cheer, and then you'll cry. I mean, you know, Alfred Hitchcock used to say there's only 3 things you could do to an audience. And if you do 2 out of 3, you got a hit. He said, in Bronx Tale, but we make you laugh, we make you cry, and we scare you. And I was able to really expand on this story. Why my father said the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. Why Sonny said is it better to be loved or feared. I was able to expand on those relationships in song, in this great music. And it's really, I mean, we were a hit on Broadway. We ran on Broadway for 2 years. And we're coming to the Windy City, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, are we ever going to see you on stage in this musical?
Yeah, well, I was in the Broadway production.
Right.
The last 5 months I did. I went in a reprise Sonny.
Sure.
Because I started as a singer, you know. So, but not here, not on the road company. I'm doing a TV series right now. So.
Absolutely, but you brought a little something, I think, for our audience, didn't you?
Yes, I did. You know what that is?
Yeah, what is it, Chazz?
Well, I want to give some tickets to everybody.
Everybody's good tickets to A Bronx Tale. Chazz, such a pleasure to meet you. Yes. You can catch A Bronx Tale at the James M. Nederlander Theatre, March 12th through the 24th. I will certainly be there. Do I get a ticket too?
Absolutely. You got to be there opening night.
I will be there.
And I just want to tell the people here, I'm not going to say it. Nobody else knows. There's going to be surprise opening night. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Whoa, okay.
I'm not going to tell you what it is.
A little hint, a little hint?
A little hint, but I think you should go.
All right. Go to BroadwayInChicago.com for all the ticket info. And, of course, you're all getting tickets. So.